Crossing strings is an interesting technique. We cross strings automatically when we play bass, and we usually use the octaves, the seventh, and the sixth. Something that I've noticed though, most people would practice crossing strings with songs, and most of the time they would just play one octave, and they would use the index to play the low note and the middle to play the higher note. But the reality is, to really have control of the technique, you need to be able to play any combination of low and high notes at any time, and any rhythmic figure. There could be 16ths, triplets. So total control of the technique is very important, even if you're not going to use it all the time. It's a very taxing technique on your hand, on your plucking hand, especially, when you're playing fast. You're playing fast and then you want to have complete freedom, or depends on which finger you're starting on. So it's not strange that sometimes I would alternate the fingers, or sometimes I would repeat the next note with the same finger. But I always try to alternate. Let's take phrase 1. I would recommend first to play just the first bar and then to play the second bar, and then you put them together. So let's have a look at the first bar. Now, when I know what I'm doing, I would put a loop and I will try to play it with a backing track. Now, when I feel comfortable, I practice the first part of the phrase by repeating bar 1, and then I tried a little bit with the loop. I think my hand is warming up, and I'm just gonna try to play now the second part. Now, when again I feel comfortable, I will put a loop. And then finally, when I have the two parts of the phrase, bar 1 and bar 2, I will come up with a little groove and trying to incorporate the phrase as a variation within my groove. So that's the entire phrase. And now I'm going to put a loop and play a little groove and then trying to put it in. The exercises are really intense. They're all written in 16th. I'm just going to take the first one. There are single bars, so I would just go and learn one bar and trying to repeat it first without any loop. Now, these 16ths are kind of tough on your hand. So if you cannot play at speed, of course, play them slowly. Of course, I will put a loop and I will try to play with the loop. And of course, I will try with the little groove. Now, at the next step, the final step, is I would take phrase 1 and maybe exercise 1 and I will try to improvise and use any combination that I've learned so far. Now, this type of practice is very efficient because after you learned phrase one, and of course you've done the exercise, which is already really kind of taxing on your right hand, I'll start to improvise and I can mix any bits of the two phrases in the exercise at any time, and I'll start to have a little bit more fun, and I improvise using the technique. This is very good when you finally find yourself playing live and you play in a groove and you want to add some extra flavor with some crossing strings. Please do that for all the phrases and all the exercises.